A visit from the feds. The titular moment of the season played out on a bus that was originally meant to take Jen Shaw, Heather Gay, Whitney Rose, Lisa Barlow and Jenny Nguyen to Vail, Colo. However, shortly after boarding, Jen got an ominous phone call and immediately left. Then came Homeland Security, NYPD officers and several SWAT team members. As the women came to learn once they departed Salt Lake City, Jen had been arrested for her alleged involvement in a nationwide telemarketing fraud scheme. She has since pleaded not guilty to the charges, and as the cameras were rolling, fans were able to witness the group's genuine reactions as they tried to make sense of the raid. Yen's actual arrest was shocking in itself. Even though Bravo's cameras didn't capture her being handcuffed, doorbell security camera footage showed several law enforcement officials raiding her home with rifles drawn. Later, Jen could be seen exiting jail. Little girl. Mary Cosby's Italian cooking class descended into chaos after she refused to let Whitney off the hook for not answering her call the previous day. She had already sent Whitney a different invitation than the other ladies as punishment, instructing her to wear mafia attire instead of Italian streetwear, but Whitney didn't fall for it, and that only infuriated Mary even more. The pair went back and forth as the group dined, and despite Whitney's repeated instances that she was driving carpool when Mary called, Mary never let up, instead dismissing Whitney as a little girl before telling her to leave. The mysterious Church of Mary. Mary's religion and her familial ties to the church she inherited from her grandmother Rosemary have long puzzled viewers, especially after it was revealed Thatch earned said inheritance by marrying Rosemary's husband, aka her step-grandfather, Robert Cosby Sr. Now, the ladies of RHOSLC are starting to ask questions, namely, is Mary running a cult? Lisa is particularly suspicious after one of her friends alleged Thad gave the Cosbys around $300,000, which required him to mortgage his house, and later left the church because he was suffering from extreme religious. The cult allegations can't really be pegged to one singular moment, as the cast has discussed the matter on several occasions, and will almost certainly continue to do so as the rest of the season plays out. For Mary's part, she has fiercely denied the rumors about her and her church. "I am not God," she told Lisa in one episode. "I worship the God in me." Meredith versus Lisa. Tension has been brewing between longtime BFFs Lisa and Meredith Marks all season, namely because of Lisa's friendship with Jen. As Meredith told Mary on a recent episode, she calls me her best friend, we are like sisters, but she's become friends with Jen over the last year. It's been very bizarre. You know what Yen's done with my child. Meredith was referring to Jen liking homophobic tweets about her son Brooks, which Jen has since apologized for. Regardless, we wouldn't be surprised if the drama continues to build, ultimately resulting in a blowout between the two. The not-so-peaceful peace lunch. At one point during Jenny's disastrous luncheon, Heather and Whitney were the only remaining housewives sitting at the table. Everyone else stormed off, Meredith chasing after Mary, Lisa seeking out Meredith, but the drama really kicked off once they were all back together. Whitney called out the group for being fake, and soon, it was almost as if the ladies were competing to see who said the worst thing about Jen after her arrest. Mary, meanwhile, insisted she had never said a bad word about Jen, something that Jenny immediately called BS on. After all, who could forget? Mary offensively comparing Jen and her family to thugs and a Mexican drug cartel? Sponsored links by Taboola. Villas for sale in Dubai might surprise you. Villas in Dubai. A reckoning over racism. It was glossed over at the time, but during the luncheon, Mary made several racially insensitive comments about Jenny's facial features. Jenny later confronted Mary and explained why her remarks were offensive, and while the other ladies backed her up, Meredith remained silent the same way she had when Mary imitated Jenny's accent in front of her. Many fans took to social media to express their disappointment in both Mary and Meredith, prompting the latter to tweet, "It's not okay to imitate someone's accent. and I later talked to Mary one-on-one in hopes that would be productive. I also made sure Jenny knew that she has my support. Please be patient. Mary, however, saw things differently. Really, Meredith? She replied on Twitter. You had a conversation with me hoping it would be productive. You was. There, you seen I was coming from a place of a compliment. Stop acting like you're teaching me. Busgate 2.0. Fans got a glimpse at Jen and Lisa's showdown on the January 9th episode of RHOSLC, though they were ultimately hit with a to be continued message just as the fight appeared to get physical. The subject of the altercation? Lisa's competing loyalties to Jen and Meredith.